of mites per 100 bees. We're going to end up collecting a sample of 300 bees. The reason we're looking for 300 bees is, well, I'm not a mathematician, but in statistical analysis, you want a larger group than just the 100. So you collect approximately 300 bees, and then divide the mites you actually see by 3 to give you your numbers. Alright. And what we're wanting is young bees. Ideally bees less than 3 days old from emergence, because the life cycle of the mite is once they emerge from the cell, they need a meal to get their batteries recharged to repeat the reproductive process. And they prefer to feed on young bees, young, fat bees. So we're looking for young bees. So we're going to go down to the core of the brood nest.
How can you tell if they're young?
Well, young bees, bees have age-specific tasks. And young bees are nurse bees. Their tasks are to care for the young larvae, the young brood. They're actually the only bees capable of producing royal jelly. So that's what we're looking for, is right in the core area of the brood nest. Of course, while we're there, we want to make sure we don't get the queen. This is a good frame. You've got larvae in it, so this would be young bees.
Yep. There's some nectar.
There's a good bit of nectar. I'm going to check the next frame, just kind of eyeball. That's probably one I will select to use. Nectar. They're drawing that wax. Alright. For the sake of time, I'm going to use this frame here. Alright, when you select the frame, it's got young larvae. It's got your nurse bees on it that you want. You want to eyeball it and make sure you're not getting the queen. You're doing a sugar shake, so you ideally should not kill her doing a sugar shake, but you really don't want to shake her into your thing over here when doing a sugar shake. That should give me enough bees. Alright, you come over here to your, give it a shake. Drop that back down in. Now most of your older bees are flighted, they'll take off. Your young bees, not so much. Come down here. A little bit more. About 300. Dump the bees in there.
Now, David, just out of curiosity for people seeing this video, are you being stung right now?
No.
A lot of people think as soon as you get around a bee, you're going to get stung.
No. Well, one thing I know, these colonies are not wall-to-wall bees. These are young colonies that just started out, and bees tend to know their own strength. A weaker colony is not going to be as aggressive. Also, you know, based on time of year, bees can be a little more aggressive. You get a feel for the bees. They're just like any other animal. They have their good days and they have their bad days. And as a beekeeper, you can kind of learn to read that. And these bees are having a good day. If they're having a bad day, I'll either avoid them, avoid doing what work needs to be done when they're having a bad hair day, or if I absolutely have to go into them, if I've got something that needs to be done, I will suit up. But I'm old, I'm fat, and I sweat. So I try to avoid getting overheated in our Georgia heat. That's a very real risk for beekeepers.
Now, some people would say they wouldn't want to open up a hive because it's cloudy today.
It's a little bit overcast. I wouldn't want to tackle what I call a big boy hive, one that's just busting at the seams with bees. When they get that big, they seem to be spoiling for a fight. Okay, you want a teaspoon or two of powdered sugar, and what you're doing is they'll groom themselves, and that'll knock the mites loose. There's what I want.
The biggest reason not to work the bees on a cloudy day such as this is there's not going to be that many out flying. They tend to stay inside on a cloudy day. If it's a bright, sunny day, the temperatures are conducive for them to be out. That's when you want to do your inspection. So there's no bees out of the colony unless you have to contend with doing your inspection.
And they are covered.
All right. Develop a kind of a, you want your samples, if you got multiple hives and you run down a row of hives, you want it repeatable from hive to hive to hive to hive. So I count to about 30 when I shake it, and then let them sit a moment. And then shake the powdered sugar out.
And that's not doing any great harm to the bees.
No.
But as David said, he didn't want to have the queen in there. It doesn't take much to damage her and possibly influence her egg laying abilities.
All right. And that should be close enough right there. And then you can return the bees. Colony right there.
And they're saying, woo, what a party.
A little dampness in the air causes them to stick. Now, sugar shake's going to give you good enough for field results. Call it field expedient method. Now, if you want to be more accurate, the alcohol wash, you can use rubbing alcohol or window cleaning solution, a solvent basically, to detach the mites from the bees. And it's the more accurate method, alcohol or some other solvent method.
But you're going to kill bees that way.
You will kill bees, but it's the more accurate method. And in here we see 3 mites. 1, 2, 3 mites. This is just plain water to melt.
Is that a mite?
No,
That's not a mite.
trash.
And this is just plain water which melts the sugar. Now, we did 300 bees, divide by 3, and you get 1 mite per 100, which is actually better than the sample we got from this one. Last time we were out, we did a treatment. This one we had 3 mites per 100, which is the economic threshold you want to treat. So I would expect, because these were treated, I'd expect to see fewer mites, in which we are. So that tells us that the treatment's working. But of course, on the oxalic, you want to do 3 treatments, so we're going to do another treatment today.